I sent the thing to.
Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday. It's usually my day. Hello, Shay. Good morning. Boy, busy,
Morning.
busy, busy, running around. Let's let this beautiful young lady in. Lori, you're going to need to move because it's way too dark.
Too dark.
Way too dark. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Didn't get a chance to do prep work, but she will get herself set up as I promised everybody in my email. I'm thrilled to have her. That's better. That is getting better. Look at everybody rolling in. Ramon Barber, great to see you last night. Roaming the streets of West Palm. Always cool to see you. Good stuff. Good to catch up. Good morning, Bob Goldfarb, Jeremy Torres. Look at John San, Kirsten Cruz. Let's roll for a Tuesday. You might notice that I am without my son this morning. He is on a mission. Lori, it's still really, really, really dark. He is on a mission this morning to pick up his son. So I'm super, super excited to have my grandson in town. Good stuff. Tracy, good morning from snowy Northeast. Seriously? I thought that there was a heat wave going on up there. Everything's crazy. Good morning, Mark Nudelberg. Let's go. Really, really good stuff. Yesterday was fun. By the way, just to follow up to yesterday's catchphrases. Thank you, everybody, because it seemed to happen throughout the day. It was so fantastic. People getting me stuff, but there was one that we did not talk about that I thought was bringing back for today, and it was when Charlie Sheen was popular, winning. So it's always cool to remember when you're winning. Welcome, Lori. I know that you're on vacation. You're not in your normal.
Trying to close blinds. I'm in a hotel room. I'm on the beach. So I was trying to give you the beach view. It is absolutely gorgeous, but the lighting just isn't working.
Okay, well, won't be able to see the absolute beauty in your face, but we're so happy to have you here today. As I had promised, it's going to be a really fun day. It is National Best Friends Day, and we have some really cool commentary on that. But before we get into it, you know what the drill is. Let's wake up to some great music.
Wake up, everybody! Get up, get up, get up, get up! Wake up! Come on, come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in there. No more about to thinking, top of thinking ahead. Come on now.
Well, all right. So it is National Best Friends Day. What does National Best Friends Day mean to you?
Well, this is a day for me to celebrate the people that are in my life that I love, trust, respect, right? Who support me, who bring me up, all of this, and vice versa, right? That I do that for them as well. So, and there's not a lot that I call best. Lots that I call friends, but only a handful that I call best friends.
That's a really cool take on it, because I learned early on in life that you can have lots of acquaintances, but if you're blessed to have one really good friend, maybe 5 really good friends. So like the qualification to say best is sort of disowning to some other people. So today's conversation can be all over the map. We're going to talk about what the qualities are that you look for in a best friend. Can you be best friends with people in business? The topper of topper is, can a man and a female be best friends? So this is what's so great about it, is because you and I had this conversation about a month ago, and I was startled. But before we actually get into the meat and potatoes, I have a special song for motivational music. So we'll start with the song and then jump right in. Awesome. So let's tell everybody, let's just throw it out there that you and I are best friends. We're best friends. I mean, so do me a favor, go back in time and explain to them the first time we met, because I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a long time ago. So I think the origin of how you develop best friends, just like in business, starts from the first time you meet. So see if you can remember.
Yeah, well, for me, the one that stands out, I mean, there's lots of times at the beginning, but the OB house breakfast for me stands out. And we were having a real coffee, not a virtual coffee, that I thought would last half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and lasted probably 3 or 4 hours. And there was an instant chemistry, number one, just the energy and the excitement and just talking about things and brainstorming about things. And so that was the first thing that I remember, was just enjoying, right, talking to you about all different kinds of things and brainstorming and having fun with all of that. And so I think that's the first thing, right? There has to be some chemistry between people. But I have to tell you that I also have one best friend that we did not click at the beginning. We were like oil and water. But then we got the chance to work together and get to know each other. And that was it. One time it took, right, for us to say, what the heck were we thinking the last time? Wow. So something's got to click at the beginning.
So, everything that we talk about on this show, I try and give it a business takeaway. And so the way you and I developed our relationship, which I remember that breakfast, and no exaggeration, it was supposed to be an hour and it was 3 or 4. I remember the waiters like circling, like, we're going to start serving lunch soon. Like, what are you guys doing here? And we covered so many topics that transcended the original reason why we got together. What is Mark chiming in? They tell you what you need.
He's right.
Hear, not what you want to hear. It's exactly right.
So right.
So we developed the foundation of something that could take us many, many years beyond that one thing. We got personal pretty fast, even though the origin of that meeting was business. I think at the time you had just left 211, and you were going to PNC, or it might have that reversed.
Yeah. No,
but it was strictly business. That was a business breakfast that's clearly just translated into something very different. And I think the takeaway for me is, and that I want to talk about, is that if you started every relationship like that, when it came time for you and I to do business, it was like a no-brainer. I was willing to help you do whatever I could do, because that's what friends do. So whether you call it best friends or, close friends, or, we shared things about each other that I wouldn't normally talk about to just strangers. And so I think, what's interesting is that there's more people that think they're friendly with me than the other side. And that always makes it awkward for people who are out there. But speak to friends and business. Can you have a best friend and do business with them? What does that feel like?
So, well, I actually have several. I mean, Susan is one. We do
Right.
business at the Hard Rock. You're another, and I'm sure if I put my brain to think, there are others. And I think that's what makes part of why I love my job, right? Kim Swears, she comes up. Kim, I would tell Kim anything. And we're doing stuff together. She's on my board. I only bring people I really like and want to be friends with onto the board.
Right.
But as Mark said, not because I think they're going to tell me what I want to hear, but because I trust their opinion and I know that they're going to bring a different, perspective. But I think there's vulnerability in that. And meeting people like you and I, we clicked. There was a comfort level. We talked about ourselves, our lives. I talked about Mike and my children, right? So you knew everything about me.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to do that. I just had a virtual coffee with somebody in the Huddle, and now I'm pulling a blank because I have so many. But we found out that, he was going through a bad divorce. I had gone through a bad divorce, and I was able to share some things with him looking back on it. And now we're friends. Are we best friends? No, because we don't live in the same place or whatever, but we're friends. And if I were going to do business, I would absolutely do business with him.
Love it. Love it. So Lindsay, who I adore working with as well, you make everybody feel comfortable. So this speaks to, sometimes people think you're your best friend. They're your best friend and they're not. Shay, show me the video, please. Who is
so insecure that they even have to ask each other?
I know. Aren't you glad that we aren't that age anymore?
I mean, at a certain point, you know who your best friend is, right? I mean, you don't have to ask.
Yeah, I feel like when you get older, you have a lot of best friends.
I think that it goes without saying, that like some people, they might like look at the two of us and they'd be like, those are two best friends.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I know we've never said that we're best friends but we don't have to.
No, we don't.
Because we are best friends.
I think you're right. We don't need to have a conversation about whether or not we're best friends.
Yeah, but I mean, are we? I mean, why are you avoiding the question?
So, Mark, in his infinite wisdom, says that some people are magnets and everybody feels like they're close to them, even though it's not reciprocated. So when it's reciprocated, the magic is beyond anything in life. As a matter of fact, Jake and I had dinner last night and he said, Dad, what's the number one thing that you take away from the business? And it's the people. I mean, I'm fortunate that I pick and choose who I do business with. We just don't take anybody. So there are qualities that I look for in people. And I sent you a list. I don't know if you went through that, but what qualities do you look for in a best friend?
I think first of all, somebody obviously who, that I can trust, right? Somebody that I can share things with that I know are protected. And also, I think, as Mark said on the top of the list, is somebody who's going to be really honest, right? It might hurt my feelings to hear the truth. I have a group of 4 girlfriends. We get together probably once every 2-3 months. And there's been tears, there's been laughter, and we are brutally honest with each other and we call each other out. And you know what? It makes us better people. And that's really those are the people I want in my life, right? People who we trust each other enough, we respect each other enough to know that if I'm going to tell you something, listen, you and I say things to each other, right? Call each other out on stuff. That's what friends do, because if we're going to make each other better, then we have to be totally honest about things. So that's really on the top of my list. Quality.
And there's a whole list of great stuff. It's, honesty, trustworthy, non-judgmental, loyalty is really a big thing. For me, it's the other way. It's not telling, it's asking. I want to be able to go to somebody, which I've done, and say, I don't really get this. And I need somebody who is sort of understands me, is loyal to me, to call me out. Am I right? Am I wrong? Give me different perspective. I sort of look at it as like, I'm playing chess, and you can come in and look over my shoulder as my teammate and say, hey, dude, here's a move that you can make that you're just not seeing, without being judgmental, not calling me stupid or whatever, which leads to the best question of all for today. And I'm going to tee it up with a show. Shay, show me what you're thinking.
You guys know we love giving our opinion at this table, but what we really love is hearing from our real fam, y'all out there. So we posted a topic to our IG story, and now it's time to find out what you think. So this week's question is super juicy. We asked you, can women and men be best friends without having any sexual interest towards each other? Okay, we got some besties out there. All right.
I don't know.
Well, 75% of our real fam thought it was possible, while 25% of you and Tam thought that there was no way for men and women to be just friends. So, y'all didn't play with your opinions. At Drunk Mermaid said yes. I know, Drunk Mermaid, hi, how you doing? Can you see me here? You said yes. One of my best friends is a man, and we've never crossed the line. It's called respect. But at Life Quotes disagrees, saying, no, they cannot. At some point, one of them will catch feelings towards another, and if they are single and like each other enough to be friends, who will not want to take the extra step? So, what do you think? Can you be besties with your other sex friend?
Well, one man said no.
And one woman said no, too.
It depends. How sexy is it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So unbelievable how life duplicates itself. You and I had this conversation. It was very personal to me about somebody I know who had a guy friend. And like, it just seemed to me, and I'm just being totally and brutally honest, that, I didn't see that as something that was possible. So you're in the hot seat today, Lori. What do you think?
Well, I say you can be friends with a guy or girl, right? Either or. I say you can. I think she's right. If somebody is attracted to the other person or wants to be intimate, no, I don't think that works either, right? But when you become friends with someone because you truly just love the person that they are and they have all those qualities that we just talked about, then I do think, and I will tell you, I have two very close friends who are men. You're one of them. And another one is this guy named Al, who is, we met each other with my daughter growing up and became friends. I was going through my divorce. He gave me a perspective from a man's point of view as I was going through something, thinking of it as a woman. And I respected his opinion. And I knew that he cared about me, right? My well-being, not in a romantic way. Neither one of us did. But I will tell you that if Mike were sitting here, he would tell you absolutely not, that a man and woman cannot be friends. He does not think that you can be friends. Although I don't know, hopefully that we've proven him wrong with that. I have a couple, but.
So, I really am sort of perplexed by the whole conversation. David Thomas says, you can't be best friends. Like, there is an intimacy. Mark said, and I don't know where the comment is, but Mark said that not all chemistry needs to be sexual. And that's a real comment. That's a really good comment. But intimacy, to be intimate, like I'm intimate with my best friends. You and I are intimate in a way that's not sexual. We don't ever go there. But you're so close to me that you know shit about me that I would never tell anybody because I want to. I want that avenue. And don't anybody.
Okay, how much is it worth to y'all? Everybody's got a price.
There's the trust issue, so this whole concept of male and female, which I don't think is sexist. I think it's a real conversation. And I think, again, and Michelle said that Mark is dropping bombs, and he is. It's about boundaries. When we, as a coach, somebody that I am coaching had a problem with a coach who crossed the line. It was a male and a female, and the coach crossed the line. Same as teachers, same as, any of that type of, when you build a relationship that doesn't have boundaries, you're looking for trouble. I mean,
I think you're right. Boundaries are important. Communication and expectations, right? I think those are really, really important. So I think you need to have all those things in place, right? And I also think there are times when you have to make sure that you find time to be both things, right? We go out socially. We had dinner with Mike and Helen, and right, we had a social dinner. We didn't talk business.
Not at all.
There's our business time, right? Which sometimes starts with a little personal catch up. But then once we go into business mode, we're in business mode, right? And there's a clear expectation of which mode are we in. And I think that's so important, because trying to mix the two may be more difficult, but you got to know which mode are we in right now, right? Are we in the business mode? And are you coming at me and telling me the truth and holding me accountable, or whatever it is you're doing, as my coach or as my friend? And
I think it's great, because this crosses into leadership. Being a leader, you have intimate relationships with the people you work with, but you have to be brutally honest. You have to create boundaries. I mean, that's one of the problems, is when boundaries get crossed, people are confused and they don't know. And, leaders who do that, in Hollywood is famous for that, where there were no boundaries, so I love the whole idea of being totally transparent, throwing it out there, because to me, the number one takeaway, and you hit it, and that's why you're such a great host, is that it's perspective. You see things that I can't. Female CEOs, female leaders see things that I don't see. So your perspective makes me better, makes me more well-rounded, and vice versa, I think.
Well, and not only do we see things differently, we receive things differently because of things, right? Gender biases, all the things that may have happened to us, right? Our past absolutely defines how we see and receive things. So as a woman, right, I may have experienced things that you haven't, right? And vice versa. So I think that perspective, that I think that is one of the biggest advantages to being best friends with somebody of the opposite sex, is that you have two. I could talk to 20 girlfriends. They're all going to feel the same way and think the same way I do. I want to hear that other perspective, right?
I love it.
And I want to go back to something earlier about,
Hold on one second. Shay, give me overtime, because this is worth it.
And we'll go to overtime.
God, I was hoping I would get overtime.
You did great.
So, you talked about at the beginning, can you become friends with clients and business people and all of that? And look, I'm in a world where my clients are donors, right? Sponsors. And so I really do believe that the answer to that is yes also. And I'm grateful for what Lindsay said, but Maya Angelou, there's a saying that she always said, and that is that, people may forget what you say, but they won't forget how special you made them feel, right? And you know what? Whether you're my friend, if you're a client, if you're a sponsor, a donor, why wouldn't I want you to know me, right? I may not tell them every secret I tell you, but I want them to know me. I want them to know about my children, what's important to me, what do I value, and I also want them to feel special, right? Because if they feel special and they feel like they know me, as you said, they feel like they're my best friend, they're going to want to do business with you. They're going to trust you with their money, right? Or their product, or whatever it might be. So I think it's really important to be really good friends and let people see who you are.
So, I feel like my clients, and this is part of coaching, are my best friends. I have their best interests at heart. That's where I start from. I come from a place of, I want to, and it's so funny because people ask me for advice all the time. And advice, no matter who you're giving it to, can be right or wrong. All I do is experience share. And when you get close to somebody and you and I share experiences, and I've told you this, iron sharpens iron. So if you're around the right people, this is the qualities, when you look at the qualities of the best friend, if you have those in your clients, your life is different.
Yeah.
And this can be continued in a conversation is, right up front, if you're not feeling it with somebody, yet a lot of people do business with them anyway.
Well, listen, I was just thinking that as you said that, because I'm thinking there have to be for you people that you go into coaching sessions just feeling exhausted before you even get in it. And it's going to be draining because you don't have that connection. You don't have that friendship, right? I know I feel that way, right? When I know I'm going to have a meeting with somebody who I just don't have that chemistry and all of that, it is draining. It's hard, right? It's hard work to get to pretend, right, that you're feeling it.
And so it's interesting because, again, Jake pointed it out last night. He said, Dad, it looks like you're having so much fun. And I say, so much fun because I'm with the right people. And the LinkedIn user that just commented is Jerry Latrento, which, by the way, is one of my best friends. He makes me better. He calls me out. He says, have you read this? Have you done this? And so I only want to do business with people that can be my best friends. And let me tell you something, if you do that, it's a blessing like no other. Scott McGregor is in here, Mary Beth, I look forward to those calls. I turn away from stuff that doesn't make me feel good. Jeremy Torres, I'm having a blast working with Jeremy because you know what? I'm invested. And that's what best friends do, is they invest the time, the energy, the loyalty. And, if you read a lot, which I do, how many fucks do you have to give? I only give them to people I care about.
I think it's true. But you know what? I think just like in business, right? There's people that you feel that with, and then there's other friends. And I think it's just knowing, right? Not everyone is going to be that person. And sometimes there are people in your life that are not those best friends you don't have that trust with. It's a totally different relationship, not as much fun, right? Not as heartwarming. You don't get what you get from those people, right, that we describe as best friends. It's not the same. It's not as fulfilling. So
I will tell you.
I will tell you this, on that man-woman thing, I don't think every man and woman can be friends. I think that there's ones that it works.
Tell me more. Wait.
Oh, I do. I do agree with them that if there's one person who's intimate, right, who wants to be intimate, who wants to have a relationship, then it is difficult to make that happen because there's always going to be that sadness when you see the person with somebody else or whatever. And I don't think that works. But I think right away, is this somebody that I can just be really great friends with? I just think but I don't think you can do it with everybody. I have a lot of men.
Look at Jeremy.
Jeremy, you are right. You are.
So what a great conversation, number one. Number two is you are a dynamite co-host. And I only wish and hope that you will give us the time again and come back and do it again with us. Because I think even the response was, from the audience was fantastic. So thank you.
Have to have a chance to represent once in a while. Okay, girls, this is all for you. I'm here for you. We got to bring our perspective to the table. So thank you.
So I don't know, maybe one day there won't be any Nudelbergs and it'll just be you and another female. Who knows?
No, it wouldn't be the same without a Nudelberg.
It'll be a female Friday. So on that note, we went way over time, but it was super great, super fun. Mark and I are working on a live Huddle happy hour. We're looking at July or August. We'll be doing it. I'm looking at places for us to do it. It will be a 30-minute. Oh, you know what? That is a very real possibility. We need to talk about that. We're going to do a 30-minute actually, that's a brilliant idea. We're going to do a 30-minute huddle called the new normal. We'll actually give content, stuff that people can actually see and feel. And then the people who show up, we're going to drink and be happy and touch and hug and do all of the things that we haven't been able to do for 15 months. So the huddle is going live. Stay tuned for details. And you know what? Don't be surprised if you see it at Junior Achievement. If you have not been to BizTown, this will be your opportunity to do it. So fantastic show. Thank you so much. I love you, Lori. You know that I do. All
Thanks for having me.
Y'all
Bye,
be
everybody.
good. Shay, take us home.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you